Welcome back to the stream. It's looking like today is most likely going to be a red day, not just in the markets, but in all of our favorite stocks, and especially AMC. I mean, we just started watching that one yesterday, on the channel at least. We hadn't really talked about it on the channel until yesterday, and it has not been doing very well. So we've got a lot to look at today. And first off, good morning, Silver. Good morning, Hero, Rich M, and JL. Welcome back to the stream. So we've got a couple of stocks on watch today. We'll actually be taking AMC up into the top left, the most obvious spot right here, because it is a favorite on the internet. I know a lot of people want me to get into it, and we're looking at it. Maybe we'll get in at some point. It is nearing 20 bucks, which is a significant support for them. At least it should be. If you look at the past, let's see, I think it's the past year right there, past year, then you see that 20 bucks is where they topped out their initial rally when GameStop was initially pumping, the first meme stock rally. They topped out at 20 bucks. 20 bucks is also a psychological level. So we'll see what happens at 20 for AMC. They got pretty darn close in the pre-market there. You got the 2092, and now they're starting to move up a little bit. We'll see what happens with it. We also had some important financial news come out today. The PPI, I think it was, the Producer Price Index came out at one of the highest readings annualized ever. So we're going to take a look at that in just a minute. Once a couple additional people get into the stream, it takes a minute for people to find that notification on their phone. But good morning, Manny C, and good morning, Mercenary SWAT. Welcome. So it also looks like DWAC took a bit of a tumble towards the market close yesterday. I wasn't actually watching the markets late into the day yesterday. I had an early end to the day, so I was not paying too much attention to stocks at the market close, but DWAC, man, getting rejected off the 55. It tried to get back above and just took a little bounce off of it down to 50. Now we're sitting around 49, 48. We're getting close to 49. We'll see what happens with DWAC at the open. And good morning, Quality Care. Good morning, Greg Taylor. And JL, start a Cash App portfolio for yourself. I will look into that, JL. Thank you very much, first of all, for the super chat. I wasn't aware that you could start a Cash App portfolio, but I'll look into it. I will definitely look into that, for sure, man. For sure. I'll look into that later today, probably. That sounds interesting. So, Mauro Stefano, good morning. MSK, good morning. Quality Care, smash that like button and subscribe to support Rob. I would appreciate it, Quality Care. I would appreciate it. It looks like we've got 27 viewers in the stream right now and 8 likes, so we could potentially get up to 20 likes if everybody hit it right now. We could potentially do it. And I will also pull up, nobody ever does it when I pull this up, but I will pull up the channel analytics real quick, just in case anybody cares to do it and to actually see the live subscriber count grow. It's a possibility. All you guys have to do if you want to see this number go up is hit the subscribe button on the channel. It should update live for you. So I'll leave it up here for a second just while we get a couple of people in here. But I assume that most of the people who are in the stream at this point are typically subscribers already. I assume that if it's this early on, then they most likely just got a notification that the stream started on their phone. So maybe in the future, maybe when this is a bit of a more popular stream, we can do that, and it'll be cool to see the number rise live. But anyways, we've got a couple of questions, it looks like. So Mercenary SWAT says you can make extra change. I assume you mean with the Cash App portfolio. I'll take a peek at it. That does sound cool. That sounds cool if it's like a public kind of thing that you guys can view and whatnot. And Quality Care, what's your thoughts on ADGI crash? Well, a lot of stuff has been crashing. We'll take a peek at ADGI real quick. Adiago Therapeutics. So this is probably something to do with the FDA. Okay, said based on the vitro findings related to Omicron, it plans to pause patient recruitment in its phase 2-3 COVID treatment trial at clinical sites in South Africa. So it's pausing its trial. Okay. So let's see. Had they just recently pumped up due to Omicron? Okay, yeah. So they had recently pumped up due to Omicron. This is probably too much, like an oversold move right here, right? I think that's probably oversold. Looking at the past year, they're trading around $9 right now. The bar hasn't actually started showing yet because the day hasn't begun, but they'll be around $9. It looks like they're oversold, and that is explicable, right? Because you can look at let's look at the past 30 days. Let's look at the past 90 days, and you can see that a bunch of volume came in, pushing them up to overbought levels when they first came out with whatever news related to Omicron treatments. And they ended up moving up to 78 before retracing down to 48. This is almost certainly a lot of people getting out. You can see somewhat significant volume in the pre-market. Not nearly as much as what pumped them up, but you can see somewhat significant volume. And they're probably getting pushed down a little bit too much. That happens in the stock market a lot. Things aren't necessarily fairly valued every second of the day. When a lot of volume wants to escape a stock, when some big players want to escape because their thesis turned out not to be true, right? If they just paused the trial that all these people back here were buying into because of, then they probably got a little oversold here, right? Just like they got overbought over here, they're probably a little oversold. We'll see. I mean, obviously, they could continue moving down. If that was the main thing they had going for them, then maybe they could keep moving down, but this could be an interesting one. I don't tend to prefer getting into these, therapeutics or pharmaceutical plays, biotech plays. I'm not the biggest fan of those because they're just such hit or miss stocks, right? If they have good FDA approval go through, then they end up skyrocketing. But if they get rejected or whatever, then they move down in a big way. So I'm typically not the biggest fan of those, but folks being told to short it because article of pipe investors getting a discount was titled free money. Yeah, I just saw that. Then they can sell the stock ASAP after merge. Yeah, I saw that article. So Rich M says Dogecoin making a little noise today. We'll definitely be taking a look. It looks like Dogecoin is up 22%. I'm glad I didn't sell out yesterday. How about that? It's up to 19.92 cents per share, so almost 20 cents per coin on Dogecoin. That's awesome to see. And you chimed in while I was practicing my German. Guten Morgen, says Austin Libby. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've not taken a German class or anything, but my guess is that's good morning. So, Abid Harif, good morning. What's your thoughts on ALZN? It's up in the pre-market. So ALZN, we'll take a peek real quick while we're getting some people on the stream. So we got it up to 269. I say let's keep it right there. No. But it's up. Okay, so it was up to 240. Come the market close, it was up to 340 at the highs of the pre-market. So what happened with ALZN? Alzamend Neuro. That sounds like an Alzheimer's stock for some reason. It just sounds like that. Yeah, okay. So Alzamend says AL001 trial top-line data for Alzheimer's-related dementia to be released in mid to late December. Okay, and that happened on November 30th. And then Alt Global founder tweets, DPW has fully reported position in ALZN. We have not sold any shares and would be required to report that if we did. Okay, so they're looking forward to the data. So I'm not seeing any news that directly came out last night. Obviously, if this is a smaller market cap stock, then the news might not be as apparent. So let me just look into it real quick. ALZN stock. Let's see what we've got, if any. Okay, so ALZN stock closed at 240 and is up 49 cents during the pre-market. It doesn't look like there's any news. It's potentially maybe a short squeeze. That's what that article just said. So let me look on Ortex, ALZN. Maybe some people are trying to squeeze out some shorts. It said it was heavily shorted. So we'll see. We'll see if that article is correct. Interesting. So it doesn't look like it's too heavily shorted. So what did this article say? It said, oh, never mind. Sorry, it's the 140th highest short-term technical score. So it's not that heavily shorted. We can look at the Ortex real quick, just for fun. It's up a little bit today, but 3.16% of the free float is shorted. Granted, very high utilization. So of the shares available to short, a lot of people are shorting ALZN. So that's interesting. But I'm not too sure what's causing this pump. Maybe it's just a trader's move going on right now. Who knows? Stocks tend to do that kind of stuff. So we do have some interesting economic statistics. And first of all, I'll say good morning to some of the regulars who are popping in. Rich M, I forget. Good. I said good morning to you already. All right. Cool Runner. Good morning. Rocky Mountain Gobbler and Shadow Girl. Good morning, you guys. Welcome. So there is some interesting news that came out. We got at 8:30 today the Producer Price Index, the PPI, month-over-month data. It came out, and it's not the best news, right? So we were forecast to get a 0.5% increase in the PPI, and the PPI measures the change in the price of goods sold by manufacturers. So it's another indicator of inflation. We were supposed to have a 0.5% increase. We were forecast to have that at least, and we ended up getting a 0.8% increase. So pretty high, not quite double what we were expecting, but pretty high. And we got this article right here. Wholesale price measure rises 9.6% in November from a year ago, the fastest pace on record. So potentially the fastest pace on record ever. Wholesale prices increased at their quickest pace ever in November, in the latest sign that the inflation pressures bedeviling the economy are still present, the Labor Department reported Tuesday. The producer price index for final demand products increased 9.6% over the previous 12 months, after rising another 0.8% in November. Economists had been looking for an annual gain of 9.2%, according to FactSet. Excluding food and energy prices rose 0.7% for the month, blah, blah, blah. So the Labor Department's record keeping for the headline number goes back to November of 2010, while the core accumulation dates are to August 2014. Okay, so since 2010, this is the biggest increase we've ever seen in the PPI. All right, there we go. So also notably, the Fed today begins its two-day meeting with expectations running high that it will remove its economic help more quickly and start raising interest rates around the middle part of 2022. So people are expecting much more hawkish Fed. They're thinking that the Fed is going to start tapering sooner. They're going to start raising interest rates sooner. And how could we not, right? When you see the PPI that just came out, the highest on record, right? They've only been recording it since 2010, but the highest on record, higher than was forecast. You're seeing these PPI numbers increase pretty dramatically. If you look back over the past many years, they're typically not this high, not since the 2010s. So it's been a very long time since we've seen that, and typically we've not seen it in for such a long time. We haven't seen it lasting for such a long time, right? Typically it's little spurts and then it moves down. But this is a pretty solid uptrend in producer prices. So scary stuff to see. And, you would have thought that crypto would be reacting a little bit better to this. You would have thought that crypto would be reacting pretty well, because typically people talk about crypto as if it's an inflation hedge. And good morning, Maria, and good morning, Zach. Metals go way down. Yeah, that's strange to see. You'd think that metals and crypto would be moving up. We'll take a peek at gold crashing, of course. And crypto. We'll take a peek at crypto also. Crypto's moving down too. It's down. Bitcoin is down 2.5%. Down to 47,000. Ethereum's down 4%, down to 37,000 or 3,700. Binance coin down 4.3%. The only coin benefiting from this is Dogecoin. It's up 20%, and it's up to 20 cents per coin. So I am glad that I've held this coin over the past little bit. Although honestly, if I had sold it a month ago, I'd still have been making more money than I am now. But you never know. We could continue this rally, but who knows what's going to happen with Dogecoin. It isn't that big of an increase, all things considered. We were at all-time lows, actually, ever since the big rally that we had way back when Elon Musk was tweeting about Dogecoin all the time. We had a big rally, and this is actually the lowest we've gotten since, right? Down to 15 cents per coin. It was pretty darn low. A lot of people were very scared that Dogecoin was going to continue dropping. It looks like there were some buyers that stepped in. So now we're up 20% on Dogecoin over the past 24 hours. So pretty good. And Mercenary SWAT got some Doge at 15.50 yesterday. Awesome buy on that. Awesome buy, man. You pretty much picked the bottom on it. That's awesome. Yeah, it did not go much lower than that. That was a good buy. And now you're up 20%. That's pretty good. And Buddy B, I've been holding since 4 cents. So yeah, crazy story with Dogecoin. I bought it. I bought it way back when. Let's see. I think I bought it November of last year when it was super cheap. And boy, do I wish I'd put some more money in. I still made a ton. I sold the first bit on this rally right here. I sold some when it was at 40 cents, and I held through. And then when it started going up past 40 cents again, when it kept rising like this, I just started selling $1,000 worth a day for a couple of days. And then when it moved down again, I stopped selling, and now I have like $3,000 left in Dogecoin. It was a lot more at the peaks. I probably should have just sold all of it. right before Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live. I probably should have done that, but I didn't. Whatever. Oh well. I still made a decent amount of money on Dogecoin, So Silver says people gambling on pot stocks, and I'm all over here looking for probably for DWAC is my guess. That's what Zach Taylor's looking for. Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some upside to DWAC, especially after the pipe release. DWAC is almost certainly going to do very well in the future. But I think that the pot stock growth could be explosive. I mean, we've seen it a couple times in the past. Whenever legalization is hinted at and pointed to as a real possibility, we see real explosions in the pot stock growth price. So I'm betting that we're going to see some big moves up on Sundial, TLRY, Aurora, all kinds of cannabis stocks come 2022. I'm pretty darn bullish on those. So, Buddy B, that's so awesome, Rob. Me too. Sold some, made $5K. And still held some and bought more on the big dip. Nice. Yeah, no, I'm still holding some Dogecoin. I'll potentially. Here's something you can do if you are down on any money on Dogecoin. What you can do with cryptos, still, is my belief, is you can, if you're down on them, you can tax loss harvest them and not worry about the wash sale rule. So if you're down, say $1,000, if you bought more when it was higher than this price that it's at, I'll pull up the Dogecoin chart. If you bought more, say when it was like 30 cents and now it's at 20, what you can do is you can sell all of it and the next second buy it all back, but then you can still claim that loss on your taxes, and you can do that because it's not a financial security. It's not a stock, which the wash sale rule applies to. You can do that with cryptos, but not stocks. So if you're interested in tax loss harvesting some losses, I at this point I bought. What I did with Dogecoin was really dumb. Because when it was initially pumping up here, the servers were extremely laggy, right? I tried to sell a large chunk of Dogecoin at these levels, and the order just wasn't going through. So I put in a market order, a limit order, and eventually all of them went through all at once, and it ended up selling a lot more than I wanted. So I ended up buying back at these prices. So I bought back in a decent number of coins at these prices, not nearly as many as I had sold, but I did want to have some of a position left because I knew it could continue moving up, and it did, and I ended up making some money on that. But now it looks in my portfolio as if I bought a lot of coins way up here when really I was buying them down here. So it's an interesting situation. So now I can take a tax loss on it technically, even though I made money on it. Granted, I've already taken the gain on those coins, so it's a weird situation. And man, it looks like AMC continuing to move further down. AMC is down to $20.27. We'll see if we can get a bounce off of $20. We're only a couple of cents away at this point, so we're really not that far. Unfortunately, I mean, we'll take a peek at the StockTwits rankings. You can see the number one trending is AMC. A ton of people talking about AMC on StockTwits. The number one most mentioned stock, most active on StockTwits by far. We've got 34,000 mentions of AMC on StockTwits, way beating out the S&P of only 7,000 mentions. So it's doing very well there. And on Ape Wisdom, surprisingly enough, I mean, AMC, granted, it is number 2. GameStop is number 1. I'm surprised to see, I guess GameStop is a little bit more popular on Reddit, potentially. It has 800 mentions compared to AMC's 5 or almost 600. So let's see what GameStop is doing also. We can just quickly peek at GameStop. It's moving down pretty big. You know, I know a friend who has a bunch of GameStop. I wonder if he's still holding on to it. I don't know. Not sure. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with GameStop. So, morning Tuesday, Sundial. Let's make money, says Stand Up. I agree. Let's make some money on Sundial. I'm hoping that Sundial can turn around, but it looks like the whole market's getting taken down today. If you take a peek at the S&P, it's in the bottom right. It's just been getting pushed down. I think people are expecting a very hawkish Fed today. The Fed is going to be discussing some policy decisions today, so let's see if we can't find something about the Fed meeting. So here's actually something talking about cryptos related to the Fed meeting. Okay. And initially in the morning, it looks like the Treasury yields were edging a little higher. Okay, ahead of the Fed meeting. People were expecting it to be good for Treasury yields. And this will be the first meeting of the Fed since Powell signaled a policy shift. So that's interesting to see. All right, it's looking like it's probably not going to be a good day for stocks, is my guess, right? AMC is potentially getting pushed down more, not so from this Fed policy news, but just from a lot of fear. I think a lot of people are very fearful that AMC is crashing. A lot of people are potentially paper handsing people who were in full support of it when they saw it break through $30, which was the old support that it had. People are getting a little bit worried. Some people are probably thinking, oh, I'll sell my AMC stock now and buy it back cheaper. But that is only contributing to the pain that a lot of people are seeing with AMC. So, scary, definitely a scary time to be in the stock market, for sure. It's completely understandable to be worried. It's definitely understandable to be worried. And, you know, over the long term, I think, if you have good convictions in good plays, then it will pay to not listen to your fear. I think that oftentimes the stock market turns into a psychological game. A lot of people get scared out of things that they potentially shouldn't get scared out of. AMC, maybe it has the potential to really pump up and to squeeze out some shorts. You know, I'm not the most well-versed on AMC, honestly. I've not actually followed it all that closely over the past couple of months. I've more recently been looking into it. So Mark Solarazon9 says, Morning, Rob. Was wondering if you could tell me what news app would have informed me of DWAC during the first spike and keeps me updated on latest stock news. What news app? I'm not sure if there is a news app that would have told you. I mean, I don't actually use any news apps specifically, right? I just tend to search for things on my own. And I forget exactly how I heard about DWAC moving up. I don't know. I think I'm pretty active in the markets on the internet. Maybe I was using a stock screener and I just noticed that DWAC was up pretty big and looked into it. Yeah, so Silver says, not really any. Your brokerage should. Yeah, I think if you go to maybe TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim, it's okay for news. You can click on the news tab right here. In the bottom left, you can see there's a bunch of stories about DWAC. And they come out pretty frequently, so that's a way to keep up to date with it. I'll always do my best to keep you guys informed regarding whatever stocks we're covering on the channel, if there's ever any breaking news events. But man, it looks like the S&P is having a little bit of a crazy ride right here. A lot of volume on this bar, over 200,000 shares traded, and it didn't end up affecting the price all that much. It just shot it up very briefly and then back down to where it was. So interesting to see. Interesting to see. And I'm very curious about what's going to happen with AMC. If it's going to end up hitting 20, moving down past 20, maybe it'll bounce off of it. We'll have to see. It should be a strong psychological support, but man, AMC's just been getting pushed down over the past month, really, down from $42 down to 20. It's lost about 50% of its value. So crazy stuff. A lot of people are probably deep in the red at this point. Anyone who was buying during the past month. I mean, this is the lowest AMC has been in the past 180 days, the past many, many months. So a lot of people very red. Potentially the squeeze is working in the opposite direction. Potentially some investors who were buying AMC on margin are now getting pushed out of AMC stock. They might have to start selling some shares. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. I know a lot of people were hoping it would go the opposite way, that it would start moving up and start squeezing out the shorts, but it's looking like, at least in the short term, some of the longs might be getting squeezed. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully nothing too bad. I know that would certainly hurt a lot of retail. I know AMC is probably the retail favorite. It's probably the biggest retail stock out there. So that would not be good for retail. That would not be good for any kind of short squeeze looking forward, if AMC caused a bunch of retail traders to lose a lot of their capital, probably. I mean, I assume that retail has a lot of capital tied up in AMC. I myself don't, so we'll see. Maybe there will be a good entrance on it, because it's definitely possible. I mean, it is a retail favorite, and if you look at the market cap, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the market cap. It was much bigger. It's now $11.93 billion. So there are a couple of situations that I could see going on with AMC. Either it could bounce back up. I think that if it does end up maintaining these new lows that it's reaching, if it moves down below $20 and stays below 20, then I don't know if it has the staying power. I think that a lot of people might lose interest in it. They might write it off as a loss in their portfolio, end up selling, and stop following AMC, which could open up a lot of attention in the retail space for potentially other stocks, other meme stocks that haven't had their big rally yet. Potentially Sundial could be benefiting from this, honestly. And, I'm not saying I want AMC stock to do poorly. I'm just saying if it does, and a lot of people end up moving away from AMC, they might start moving into a more catalyst-driven stock that could have some potential legalization going on for it in the future. And JL, I don't think AMC will go bankrupt. I don't think they'll go bankrupt. No. I think they've got money. I think they've got money. I think they've got a big customer base at the very least. I don't think theaters are going out of business anytime soon. I think that people might lose a little bit of interest in them, unfortunately. We'll see what happens. But no, I don't think they're going bankrupt. They'll always have a value, especially if they alter their business model a little bit, go into the streaming services. That could be very good for them. I think that's what a lot of people would have liked to hear a couple of months ago during one of these earnings calls. I think that retail would have liked to hear a lot from AMC that they were going to take the company in a new direction and potentially just start doing better with their management. I think if they started maybe moving into a more modern direction, right? Instead of just working with theaters, if they expanded a little bit, I think people would have liked to hear that very much. That could have driven their stock price up on the hopes that AMC could become a big growth stock as well. I mean, they certainly have the ability to raise a lot of capital at these prices, right? They could definitely sell, I mean, especially with all the volume going through, they could certainly sell a bunch of shares. And we could definitely see something going on very well with them if they change their strategy a little bit. And Silver says, I'd like AMC to sign with Trump Media. And JL would buy more of it if that happened. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. That could be very good for them. That might be the saving grace. And, that could definitely get Trump Media a lot more attention from retail. So it could be a win-win. Brazil AA, good morning, man. Diamond Hansing, I see your Diamond Hansing. It looks like we'll need some Diamond Hansers on AMC if we want this thing to hold $20. I think a lot of people are getting a little worried about it. It has moved down pretty significantly in the after hours and pre-market. So we'll see if it can hold 20. It's had a couple of bounces today during the pre-market. We're going to see what it can do. It looks like the market's about to start trading in under a minute, so that'll be interesting. We'll have to see what happens. And before the market does start trading, guys, let me point out we've got 37 likes on the stream. Maybe we could get it up to 50. If we could get another 13 likes in the next 40 seconds, we could get it up to 50, start the day with 50 likes. I think we could do it. It's very possible we could. Let's see if we can. We're up to 41, so we only need 9 more. The Nazgul. We could really get 9 people coming up in here, hitting that like button. So let's see what else. What happened with AMC short interest? Actually, I'm curious what's going on with AMC short interest. Okay, so not too much has changed. Not too much has changed for AMC short interest. It's up 0.44%. Some additional shorts coming in, actually, potentially trying to help it on its way down. But overall, not too high of a short interest increase. So we did it. We got to 57 likes. Nice. And now we're just in time for the market open. So it looks like AMC had a nice little green bar right before we started. DWAC also moving up right before market open. SPY seeing some green. Sundial going green too. Everything's green. This could bode very well for us. Obviously, everything's green on the bars on the first bar of the day, but everything is also red from the close of yesterday. So it's going to be an interesting one. We're down to 56 cents on Sundial. We're getting crazy cheap again. If we get below 53, then we might have to do some buying on Sundial. If we get to new lows on it, then it could definitely be a good buying opportunity. And Alshash Jamal is talking about AMC. He says, all due respect, you got the whole story twisted. Big players on the sidelines ready to get in. Volume yesterday was at 83 million. This is a squeeze play. And what you're seeing is the dip before the rip. Could be. It looks like it's certainly doing very well right now. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens with AMC. I'm looking for a potential entrance. And if it gets pushed down much more than this, then I would consider getting in myself, because I realize there is a lot of support for it. A lot of people are big fans of AMC, so I would consider getting in a little bit. And Acorn Sucks says, last one to sell AMC turns out the lights. That's a good one. I think there would be, I don't think those lights would ever turn off. I think that at this point there will always be some AMC holders. I mean, people will be holding AMC. If any young people are buying AMC in their 20s, they'll probably be holding it into their 70s. Some people, at least, there'll be some of them. No matter what happens, if it goes to $5,000 per share or $2 per share, I think people will be holding AMC. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. It's certainly doing very well right now on these first couple of bars, as is the market. So it'll be interesting if the market starts to turn around. Will AMC follow suit? And Buck Sutherland, Rob, what price do you see for DWAC by election 2022? That's actually not that far off. That's only in 6 months from now. So I think it really depends on how well of a beta True Social gets, and if the launch goes well, right? If people really like the True Social app and we see a bunch of people signing up for it, I could see DWAC getting up over 100 if there's a lot of support for it, right? Because it wouldn't require that large of a market cap once they merge with TMTG to get to over 100. It would still be under a $10 billion market cap, and they're projecting their projected growth, I think they said 40 million subscribers to their service by 2026. And they'd be charging an average of $9 a month per subscriber. So they'd be making quite a bit in 2026. I think that people would want in on that growth pretty early on if they see the platform going well. So they could be doing pretty good. It's tough to say an exact price. I mean, it really depends on how much hype there is in the stock. It's tough to say what will happen with DWAC. We'll really have to see how the launch of their service goes, right? If they launch it and nobody likes it and nobody uses it, then things aren't looking too good. But I think that probably won't be the case. I think with all this additional money, especially that they've collected from the pipe, they're probably going to do a pretty good job of marketing it and developing the True Social platform. So we'll see. AMC also moving up, erasing a lot of those gains or losses, erasing a lot of those losses that they saw during pretty much all of the pre-market. I mean, they've almost gotten to the highs of pre-market in just the first couple of bars. So that's impressive. That's really cool stuff. AMC doing very well. So is Sundial, almost turning green on the day. The S&P starting to take a little bit of a breather. We're moving down on these couple of bars right here. That's understandable, right? The S&P is a little bit less volatile than a lot of these stocks. Abstract, what's up, man? And Tim Boone says Tesla taking Dogecoin. It could be. Maybe Elon Musk took some of that Tesla sale money and he bought some Dogecoin. And that would absolutely explain what's going on. Because if you look at cryptos, which now that Abstract's here we'll take a peek at the cryptos. Everything is down across the board except Dogecoin, right? Bitcoin's below 47,000. Ethereum's at 3,700. Binance at 500. Everything is down about 2% across the board except for Dogecoin, which is up 18.52% to 19 cents per coin. So Dogecoin doing well. Even Shiba Inu has fallen 2.59%. So pretty much everything is down 2% except for Dogecoin. So it's very possible that Elon is buying up a little bit of Dogecoin. It would make a lot of sense for him to put some money into that since he's been such a staunch supporter of it in the past. It would make some sense for him to put some money where his mouth is. So Valera P, good morning, man. What's up? Or potentially, good morning, girl. I don't know. Valera is, that's an ambiguous one. I'm not too sure. It's a nice name, but I'm not sure. An Evergrande CEO told to sell more stock by China government. Wow. Went from 45 billion net worth to single-digit billionaire. More coming. It could be. Sucks because I only have 700 Doge, says Abstract. Well, I mean, that's not too bad of a thing, right? Because it is, depending on when you were buying, it's still down over the month. So we're still down on Doge over the month. And it's still pretty cheap compared to where it's been ever since the pump, right? The lowest it ever got was actually yesterday. It got down to 15.21 cents. I think that's the all-time low since Elon pumped it. And that is the lowest we've been. Now, we're still not that far off, though. I mean, I could see this thing going higher. I'm still holding some Doge, but I don't know. I'm not the most bullish on it, right? It seems a little worn out. If Elon really is buying and tweets something about that, that could be very good for Dogecoin. But AMC is certainly doing very well. AMC starting to move up. We've got it pumping. It's not doing as bad as people were thinking. It looks like we did see that bounce off of $20, 2027. We didn't get exactly to $20, but we're doing pretty darn good with AMC. So we're only down 4.39% on the day. I know a lot of people are happy to see it. Sundial also seeing some green, getting some love from the investors. Maybe not as much as AMC, but it is moving up. So people are probably excited to see that. Their portfolios aren't as red as they were a couple minutes ago. But man, AMC's killing it with these bars. A lot of retail support coming in. Tons of people buying in. That's really good to see. That's good to see. And I will point out, guys, we've got 120 viewers about in the stream and 64 likes. Maybe we could get it up to 80. Maybe we could get it up to 80. We'd only need about 15 more likes to get it up to 80 likes. So that would be appreciated if we could potentially pump the like button, much like AMC stock is pumping. It looks like every bar is green. Let's turn every like button blue. Let's see if we can do that. Every like button, let's turn it blue. That would be appreciated if we could do it. We'll see. We'll see if we can. The S&P is doing very well also. The S&P is almost green on the day. We're only down 0.5%. Overall, this isn't the biggest move on the S&P if you look. We've barely erased what we've done in the pre-market. We haven't even gotten close to erasing the pain that we saw this pre-market for the S&P. But we're getting close. We're getting close. And I think, let's take a peek at the PPI for those of you who are new. Abstract asks, where's Lucid at? And Buck Sutherland says AMC is trash. Maybe. But I'll take a peek at Lucid. Lucid's turning green too. I mean, it's not green yet. It's down 1.79%. It's down to 38.50. Down to 38.50, but it has been green on the day alongside the market. So it looks like everything got crushed in the pre-market. And now now everything seems to be doing very well come market open. And Silver says, I'm hoping bots are in here monitoring. Hit those like buttons. Rob has a legit channel. He's not a snake charmer. That's true. It is interesting. It seems like there are quite a few viewers compared to normal. We'll see what's causing it, but we'll pull back up DWAC, which looks like it is also rebounding. So cool stuff. Cool stuff. And Acorn Sucks says, Blue Christmas. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it a Blue Christmas. And Brian Steezy's channel, what happens to my money if Sundial gets delisted? Do you think they will throw some sort of Hail Mary first? I think they will. I don't think Sundial is going to get delisted. But what happens is, most likely, depending on your brokerage, if you're using Robinhood or something like that, then your stock will still be available to you. You'll still be able to see your stock in your portfolio. You just won't be able to buy more, but you can sell it still. So that's what will happen if Sundial gets delisted. At least that's what Robinhood says will happen if you're using Robinhood. Other brokerages may do it differently, but that's what Robinhood has said they will do. So AMC is taking a little bit of a breather. It's starting to pitter out just a touch. It's sitting around 22.40. So we're starting to slow down on the AMC growth, and it's understandable. The market's taking a little breather also. The S&P starting to get a little red bar right there. And this big green bar is really getting in the way. There we go. Just had to get that out of the... Well, maybe we should have it in the frame. Yeah, that does help to show us some scale. So now, well, AMC is starting to come back. It's starting to move back. And Austin Libby asks, or thanks Brian Steezy for the question. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry much about Sundial, right? That's I'm not too worried about it getting delisted, though. I think that they'll probably, if they're going to get delisted, they'll either do a reverse split, which I think is unlikely, or they'll start doing some share buybacks and potentially just garnering some support. Maybe they can ask for an extension. And Abstract Artemis is ready for everything he owns to go up 100+%. I hope it does, man. I hope it does. It sounds like we're in some of the same stuff, although you might be a little bit more crypto heavy. And look at that, DWAC shooting back up above $50. People wanted DWAC above 50 at half of 100. They didn't want to see it push down to the high 40s. They want it in the 5s. So there we go. DWAC doing pretty good. And for those of you who just joined, I will pull up the producer price index numbers. Just for those of you who are new to the stream, we already covered this very briefly, but something that's potentially pushing the markets down a little bit is the producer price index. This came out this morning at 8:30. We were forecast to get an increase of 0.5%, and we ended up getting an increase of 0.8%. And this, the PPI, measures the change in the price of goods sold by manufacturers. So it's another inflationary measure, and it is higher than was expected. And honestly, at this point, I expect these numbers to be higher than our forecast, because that's typically what's been happening over the past while. We've been seeing much higher inflation numbers than what the government says they expect. So overall, this was the highest ranking that we've ever gotten for the PPI ever since we started recording it in 2010. So it's certainly a scary statistic to see. A lot of people are probably pretty worried about inflation at this point, and the Fed is going to be talking today. The Fed is going to be doing a meeting over the course of the next 2 days. They're going to be doing it today and tomorrow, and we're probably going to see the Fed talk from a more hawkish stance. We're probably going to see them start discussing tapering. We're probably going to see them start discussing raising interest rates. And Abstract asks, is Powell supposed to speak today or tomorrow? Well, let's see. Fed meeting. Let's see if we can even... Let's see if we can find something on it. So, meeting calendars for the Fed. So, November, December 14th to 15th. It looks like there's no link for it yet. When is the Fed meeting, actually? I don't know if there is a specified time. So, the calendar on the Federal Reserve Board. All right. So, it looks like they haven't listed anything on the Federal Reserve's Board calendar. Obviously, they will be speaking, right? They said they would be speaking today and tomorrow, so I think we'll just have to wait for it. I don't know if we know exactly when they'll be talking, but we should be expecting that today and tomorrow. Yeah. And Abstract says, only green I have is SHIB. Is SHIB up? I thought last I checked, SHIB was down. SHIB is down 1.96% over the past 24 hours, but maybe you're looking at a different time frame. Doge, though, if you have some Doge, then you should be green on that too, up 18%. You can't be too red on Doge. It's doing pretty darn good. And AMC is doing pretty good also. It looks like it's getting ready to move up again. We'll see. It is certainly trending a lot higher than it was yesterday. A lot of new people are probably talking about this. Maybe people who haven't talked about it for a long time, who just had it sitting on the back burner, they've noticed that it's a lot cheaper. But on Reddit, it is the number 2 trending stock. GameStop is number 1. We've got 617 mentions of AMC on Reddit, 5,500 upvotes, which it's surprising to see. I always felt like AMC was the more popular of GameStop, of the meme stocks, right? I always thought that GameStop was a little bit less popular than AMC. But it looks like GameStop actually has way more mentions on Reddit and way more upvotes. So that's interesting. That's interesting. And the rankings. Well, it's no surprise, actually. The rankings are exactly what I would have expected. AMC on StockTwits is the number 1 top trending, but also the number 1 most active. Way more mentions than GameStop. GameStop is nowhere near. It's about 10% as popular as AMC on StockTwits. So way more people talk about AMC on StockTwits than do on Reddit. It's very interesting. And Penny Smith 2012, thank you very much for the super chat, man. That is appreciated. Good morning, Rob. Let's all hit the like button here. Yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. We're at 75 likes right now. We'll see how high we can get it. We recently asked for likes, so we'll see. We'll see if we can do it. But Abstract Artemis says, GME announced acceptance of SHIB payments, I believe. Oh, that's cool. GME. See, that's the kind of thing. Yeah, okay, wow, this is cool. So, Shiba Inu now accepted at GameStop, Lowe's, and Nordstrom via Gemini-backed Flexa. It's come full circle. Shiba Inu holders can now spend their SHIB at GameStop, the company that helped trigger the meme coin trend. So very cool. The oft-derided meme coins took another step towards mainstream acceptance this week as Gemini-backed digital payment app Flexa announced via Twitter this weekend that Shiba Inu coin is now integrated with its network. SHIB holders can now spend their Shiba Inu coins at more than 40,000 in-person locations across the US and Canada, including Barnes & Noble, Bed Bath & Beyond, Lowe's Hardware, Nordstrom, Office Depot, and Whole Foods Market. So that's very cool. And if I'm not mistaken, Whole Foods Market is a subsidiary of Amazon. So I believe that this could be indicative that maybe Amazon is eventually looking into accepting these crypto payments. If Whole Foods Market, I believe that Whole Foods is owned by Amazon. Let me look into that real quick. So, in 2017, Amazon entered the grocery business by tossing Whole Foods in its shopping cart. Amazon spent more than $13 billion to buy this 40-year-old supermarket chain known for its organic merchandise. Wow. Wow. So, potentially, Amazon will be accepting these cryptocurrencies in the future. Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, whatever is accepted on the Flexa app from Gemini. So, that's very cool. Very cool. Flexa integrates with existing point-of-sale infrastructure to pay retailers in either the crypto or fiat currency of their choice while allowing customers to spend their preferred cryptocurrency. Instant payments on the platform are made possible via the network's native token AMP, which works as decentralized collateral to reduce payment risk while rewarding those who offer collateral with further AMP for each successful transaction. Wow. Perhaps a touch ironically, the video game retailer GameStop is among the companies that are now accepting Shiba Inu coin via Flex. GameStop was at the center of the Wall Street Bets saga earlier this year when Reddit users rallied behind the company's stock, which had been heavily shorted by hedge fund managers. So that is very cool. Very cool. And Amazon will accept SHIB before Doge, in Abstract's opinion. Possible. I don't see why not. It's very possible. Could happen. And Abstract says, yes, Whole Foods is owned by Amazon. Yeah. So it's very possible. I mean, it makes sense that Amazon would want to test out accepting SHIB and all that via a smaller part of their business, like Whole Foods, than just going right on Amazon and accepting it. And Brian Steezy's channel says, people, don't forget if you use Webull to buy crypto, you don't own it or can't transfer or can transfer it anywhere. Yeah, that's true. I think for Robinhood as well, though they are adding crypto wallets to Robinhood. So that is good to see. It's good to see that they are adding some more functionality to Robinhood. I'm not sure about Webull if they're going to be working on that. My guess is that if Robinhood does it, Webull is going to have to follow suit. I think it would be tough for them to remain a real competitor in the crypto space if Robinhood, which is already potentially a much more well-known brokerage than Webull, if they're not offering crypto wallets and Robinhood is, I think it would be tough for them. So they'll probably, in my opinion, start offering that in the future. Although, I mean, if I just don't think that they're going to try to steal my crypto. I'm not too worried about it. Zach Taylor says, imagine what's going to happen to the economy after Christmas when poor and middle-class families start doing their taxes and realize they got the advanced child tax credits. I mean, yeah, that's probably not going to be good. So they will be getting not much money or even have to pay taxes. Yeah, that could be an issue. That's always the issue. That's always the issue with a lot of these stimulus things that give you money now. It ends up being a big detriment later on, right? When you do these kinds of things, it's almost like using a credit card. And that's pretty much never a good idea, using a credit card, unless you're going to pay it off every month, right? I'll use credit cards because they have cash back on them. So I end up getting a discount on the stuff. But then if you pay it off every month, it makes a lot of sense. If you don't, then you end up paying all this interest. And in a way, I can see the child tax credit being good, right? It's better to have money now than later. But at the same time, if you're not budgeting correctly and you're just spending the money instantly, then it's potentially not good for families who are expecting to get the money back at tax time. And Abstract says, also, if you buy crypto on Webull, when you sell it, you don't have instant crypto buying power. Really? That's interesting. And Public is a better stock exchange to buy crypto in. Yeah, I have a Public link. If anybody's interested in joining Public, I've got a Public link in the description of this stream. You guys can use it to get some free stocks on Public, worth up, I think, to $70 at this point. It's $70. And then you guys can view my Public stock trades. I haven't been trading on it too much lately, but I've got some. Right now I'm just holding some Sundial on Public, so we'll see when that ends up panning out. Right now I'm in the red on it, but pretty much all my other trades have been green on Public. So if you guys are interested in seeing some of those feel free to take a gander at Public. You can use my link to get some free stocks, and they're in the description. There's a bunch of free brokerages down there, actually, that pay you either free stocks or cash to open up accounts with those links. So I also get something. I also get a free stock or something when you guys use those links, so it's appreciated. And Ambition says, in the field, stopping in to give you a like. I appreciate that, Ambition. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good day, even though you're in the field. You can't be with us the whole time, but thank you very much for the like. Hopefully we'll see you in the stream tomorrow. And Money Lover says, hope Sundial knows to swim underwater. Yeah, hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. They've done it before. They've definitely been pushed down as low as 13 cents in the past. So obviously that was when their business was much less developed. They had a much worse balance sheet at that point. But now they're still getting pushed down pretty darn low to 55 cents. So overall, it could be worse. It has been worse. And Abstract says, I hold Sundial and SHIB on Public. Nice. In the red on both. Yeah, unfortunately, the market has been pretty darn red lately. And Travis Brusso said, almost forgot to give you a like. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. And Zach Taylor said, Germany arrested Santa yesterday for not wearing something that he was supposed to. Ooh. Not supposed to talk about it on the channel, probably, but that doesn't sound good for Santa. That doesn't sound good for Christmas this year. Oh, well. Yeah, Sundial. Yeah, Sundial's getting pushed. AMC in the green today, though. Very surprising. Nice bounce off of 20 bucks. Or at least very close to 20.27. So good buys for anyone who was buying it in the pre-market, right before the market opened. Or even at any point during the trading day today. We have been hitting highs pretty much every bar. So anyone who's been buying in AMC, good job. Good job on that. So, Angel I think, says, how come the volume in Sundial has been insane for a week, but no move in price? Has it been insane for a week? It's not been too crazy compared to what we normally see, right? Initially, it's not really been that crazy. I don't think there's been too big of a volume compared to normal. It's pretty typical volume-wise, I think. So, I mean, right now it looks like Sundial just keeps getting pushed down, and we'll take a peek at the Ortex to see if the shorts are potentially behind it today. We'll see. Let's see Sundial on Ortex. So, let's see. It looks like, yeah, it's up again today. So up 0.52% short interest change-wise to 17.09%. 351 million shares short. So there are some more shorts, not all that many more. It's a relatively small increase, but still, they're helping it on its way down. They're giving it a little push down the stairs. So that's too bad. So it's not really going down the stairs. It's down 3%. So all in all, not that bad. And Kyle Cooper says, last time I was at the theater was a few months ago. Prices were so high for popcorn and Coke and such. Yeah. Last time I was in the theater was when Dune had just come out. So prices are pretty high, unfortunately. Theater prices are always pretty expensive. It's never been the best situation. They're always pretty darn expensive. So I wasn't surprised to see, it ended up being like $10 or something to get a popcorn and a Coke. Kyle Cooper, could it be moviegoer numbers are high along with inflation, so it's, dare I say, people don't care and still love movies? I think that might be the case. I think, especially when movies have exclusive releases like some of the Marvel movies, I think that's a big deal for people. When those have exclusive releases in theaters, I think people go to those. Dune was an odd situation. I went to Dune at the theater just for fun because Dune was available on HBO, I believe it was, at the same time, right? They released it on HBO and in theaters, so I just went to the theater just because it seemed like a cool movie to see in the theater. And it was very cool. Overall, it was a very good movie. I liked Dune quite a bit. But yeah, it does get kind of expensive to go to theaters. And I'll say it wasn't an AMC theater. I wish it was. I wish it was an AMC theater. That would have been fun. I just don't have any AMC theaters right next to my house. I've got a couple theaters nearby, but none of them are AMC. So if I did have an AMC, I would certainly go to that one over the other theaters. That would be ideal, but we don't have it right now. So the closest AMC is a ways away. Bottomless popcorn, says Acorn Sucks. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're a big theater lover, there are some pretty good deals at the theater. You can end up buying one of those megatubs of popcorn, and you can get unlimited popcorn for like a month or something. There are some pretty good deals we were looking at where you pay a monthly fee. It's like maybe $12 a month, and you get a ticket to go to the theater every month. So basically, you're paying for the movie ticket. If you want to go every month, then it's a good deal because then you get like, I don't know, 20 or 30% off your concessions. So it's a decent deal. It's something that I was considering, but I just don't go to the theater enough to justify it. Now Sundial's starting to turn around. It's looking like it's getting a nice bounce off of 55 cents. We'll see if we can maintain this. It's looking like it's heading up to 66 again. Hopefully we can get past it. We'll see. I know a lot of us want to see Sundial start moving up, but honestly, if it can get below 53, that could be another good buying point, right? That was the previous low that we've had over the past while, 53 cents. Let's see, it was not 10 days ago, but there we go. It briefly dipped to 53 cents per share. So if it does get below 53 cents, I'd certainly be looking to buy more. It looks like we have renewed this little downtrend that we're on, so hopefully it won't continue that long. We still got a decent amount of December left, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. AMC has turned around quite nicely, though. It's done pretty darn good. And Jesus A says Tesla to accept Doge, and that sounds interesting. Let me see if Tesla is to accept Doge. Wow. Wow. So no wonder Dogecoin is up. Here you go. Tesla to accept Dogecoin as payment for merchandise, says Musk. So that's very cool. Elon Musk said on Tuesday the electric car maker will accept Dogecoin as payment for merchandise on a test basis, sending the meme-based cryptocurrency up 24%. So this could be potentially a good place to be buying into Doge. I mean, it's gotten pushed down to lows. Let's see if Elon said anything about it on Twitter. Let's see. And if you guys are interested in following me on Twitter, you can see my Twitter right here, @RobAlmazy. I don't really tweet that much. Last thing I tweeted out was I retweeted Elon Musk about something he said December 8th about the temporary provisions in the Build Back Better Act permanently increasing U.S. national debt by 24%. So that was the last thing I tweeted about. But here we go. Tesla will make some merch buyable with Doge and see how it goes. 199,000 likes. We'll give it a like too. So very cool stuff. I'm excited to see that. I'm glad that I'm holding some Doge still. We'll even maybe retweet this. How about that? We'll retweet it. There we go. So now we've retweeted Elon Musk's thing. We've given him the support that's necessary. How's Twitter stock doing? Asks Kitchener Leslie. We'll take a peek at Twitter just real quick. Probably not great. Yeah, it looks like at a decent sell-off yesterday. We're still red on today. And Twitter it's pretty cheap at the moment, honestly, compared to where it's been historically over the past year. Over the past 2 years, it's not as cheap, but it's still fairly cheap. I mean, they did just have a bad earnings call. They actually lost money on the earnings call. Crazy stuff. Twitter is offering a subscription service. I think it's Twitter Blue. And I just don't see any merit to subscribing to it. I don't really see a benefit. I mean, Twitter's so easy to use as a free service. I just don't see it doing that much to accept or to subscribe to their service. It doesn't really seem like it would add that much to my life, especially considering that I don't use Twitter that much. And Buddy B says, yes, he posted about Tesla accepting. It will pop if we all stand together. Hashtag Dogecoin to the moon. Patience. So let's see what Tesla's doing on this. TSLA. Whoops. Missed the A on that one. So it's still below 1,000. It's still below 1,000, but not by much. It's 950. And potentially we'll use 900 as a support. That was the big barrier that we saw last time. That's where we popped off last time. And if we did get just to 900, we would just barely fill that gap up, which I think 90% of gaps end up getting filled. So looks like that's going to be the case with Tesla. We haven't quite filled it yet. We technically have to get down to 911. Ooh, we have to get to 911 to fill that gap. So let's just get there quickly. Let's get there quickly and then start moving back up. So yeah, 900 though is the resistance that we had in the past. And hopefully we won't drop too far below 900. I mean, I'm holding Tesla over the long term, and honestly, I would like to get some more Tesla in my portfolio, my long-term portfolio. So I technically wouldn't mind that big of a, I wouldn't mind a massive dip actually. If we could get Tesla down to $5, I would love to buy up some Tesla stock. I would love to buy up a lot of Tesla stock. I'd probably go all in Tesla at those prices. Yeah, Kitchen Leslie. It reminds me of that tragedy also. But Tesla stock, I would like to get cheaper. So I'm honestly fine either way, right? I'm holding some Tesla. I'm not actually happy with how much Tesla I have. I want more Tesla. I think that Elon's doing really good stuff. I think that he's going to continue doing really good stuff, and the Tesla stock price will continue to appreciate. I'm definitely with Cathie Wood on this. I think that if we could get Tesla below maybe 800 or 700, that would be a really good buying point, in my opinion. I don't know if we'll be able to get there after this most recent rally, though. I'm not too sure about it. So hopefully we can get Tesla a little bit lower. But honestly, if we just keep moving up, I already hold some Tesla. I'm fine with it. I'd like some more, but I would understand. If we just bounced up off of 900, that would also be understandable. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So Sundial looks like it did have a nice bounce, though, off of 55. I'm glad to see it. And AMC, it's basically just been a straight line up. I mean, this probably has the meme crowd really enthused. I mean, a lot of people are probably very happy that AMC stock started moving up like this. So good stuff to see. Max Pierce, Rob, when is a good point to buy more into NAKD stock? We'll take a peek at NAKD. I have been meaning to do another dive into NAKD. It looks like we're seeing a little green today, despite being down overall from the close. Let's see. The lowest it looks like we got was just yesterday, and we got pretty darn close today also, though we are doing pretty well. So I would say if the market starts to turn around, which it looks like we're seeing potentially the beginnings of, NAKD could move a little bit lower, maybe 50 cents. I don't know if we'll get to 50 cents. It's not that far off. It is pretty low, actually. So maybe 50 cents. Maybe 50 cents would be a good buying point on NAKD. I'm certainly going to start looking into NAKD a little bit more over the next couple of days. It looks like they've gotten even cheaper. I might have to add to my position on it. But once they really go through a centro, I think we'll probably see some good stuff. So as it stands, I mean, 53 is pretty darn cheap. It's below where I bought it. I bought it at 60-something cents, 61 cents, I think. And I could see this going down to 50, though. I could see us touching 50. That is where we have a little bit of a support right here. The past two times we've hit 50, we ended up bouncing off in a decently big way. So that could really hold us pretty well. A lot of these growth stocks, though, have been getting tanked the past couple of weeks. So the past couple of months, really. So we'll see how far this one can go. I think 50 cents could be a good one if you're looking to increase position, but obviously not financial advice. Not financial advice. And Penny Smith, 2012. Wow, what a pump on AMC. Yeah, that was pretty darn good. I mean, we're up. How much? How much did we move up? From the lows to the highs. Wow, we were up 20% from the lows to the highs. So an option or a situation where you could have made potentially 20% if you bought in at the low and held to the high. And if you held to here, then you only made 15%. So it's dropped a little bit. It's dropped a touch. But Michael Torrance, thank you for the super chat, man. And thoughts on CFVI Rumble? I think CFVI is going to do incredibly well. I think that over the long term, that's a real good one. I'm happy to see that it's gotten a little bit cheaper. And actually, I don't know if they're trading options on it yet. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to start trading options so I can sell some puts on them and potentially get an even cheaper entrance than what they're offering. But CFVI, I think, is going to do super well. Like we've covered in some of the other videos, they have a partnership with TMTG. They're going to be working with True Social in some way, shape, or form. We don't know how yet, but they've got a partnership. They have massive user growth year over year, 44x user growth. Not 44% increase, 44x. They 44x their user growth over the past 1.25 years. And I think that they can keep doing it, especially as their platform. I mean, their platform, I'll pull up right here. At the moment, you have to admit, it's a little cruddy almost. It's not the best, right? If you use YouTube, then their platform is a little cruddy. It's a little outdated. It's not the best, but that only speaks to how much demand there is for a service like theirs that doesn't engage in censorship. I think that a lot of people, especially as they start improving their platform, which they'll potentially be able to do now that they're raising some money from this from going public, then we'll probably see CFVI doing very well in the future as they improve their platform. I could definitely see that happening. And if you guys are interested, I am on Rumble. I'm on CFVI, and you can even see breaking Rumble to combine with Nasdaq listed CFVI stock right here at the top. So I'm on Rumble as Rob Almazy. If you guys want to, feel free to follow me there. Also, I don't get too many views. You can see 6 views, 2 views, 9 views, 270 on this CFVI stock video. So it looks like they wanted to pump out my CFVI stock news. It looks like, yeah, every time I mention CFVI, I get quite a few views. Look at that. So they are very kind to CFVI stock videos on Rumble, but I do upload my videos to Rumble also. So I agree. I want to see the format of Rumble improve. It seems outdated, says Jeremy. Yeah, I think that as they improve the platform, which I expect they will, especially now that they're raising some additional capital, we'll probably see some good stuff from CFVI. So I am looking forward to seeing what happens with it. And I'm happy to see, actually, that they've decreased in price over the past little bit. It just provides a better buying opportunity. If they got into the 10s, I might just have to buy them up without options, right? I might have to do it. So I think we're seeing some good stuff with CFVI. Now, Sundial, it looks like we're about to go green on the day. We're 0.02%. We're at break even right now on Sundial from their close yesterday at 57 cents. We're at break even. We're about to go green on the day, it looks like. Let's hope. Let's hope. And Silver says, be patient with Rumble. Maria G says, I was reading an article today with DWAC and CFVI. Nice. And Saba Capital just bought $1 million of CFVI. Nice, nice, nice. And Kitchener Leslie says, Rumble is no frills, but I think they will update. I think they will. I think they're going to use some of that capital that they're raising to update their platform a little bit. They'll get some good coders in there. They'll get some good coders. And Penny Smith says, nice green candle on PROG. Let's take a peek at that. Yeah, we've got, it's been recovering alongside a lot of the other stocks today. Not even following the market that much, just moving up, it looks like. They had a little bit of volatility in the morning, but now we're getting some volume coming in. What do we hear about them? What happened to cause this volume? Who knows? No news came out for PROG. Let's see. Let's see if we can find anything. No, it doesn't look like anything. Not over the past... Let's see if anything in the past hours came out. No, I don't think so. Never heard of CFVI. We'll go look. Buddy B will go take a peek at CFVI stock. Yeah, CFVI is a good one, in my opinion. It's a good one. DWAC getting pushed down below 50. It looks like they tried to get up above it a couple of times. We haven't taken a peek at it in a minute, but it looks like it might be getting rejected from 50. What's a good price? Buddy B asks, what's a good price to buy in? Not advice, I know. Yeah, not advice, but okay, so we'll pull up CFVI. And the interesting thing about SPACs, and CFVI is a SPAC, they're going to change their ticker symbol eventually once they end up completing their merger with Rumble. So CFVI, the interesting thing about SPACs is for $10 a share, if they're trading below $10 a share, there's actually essentially no risk with them. And it's through a kind of complex mechanism. But basically, when they go public, when they end up doing the merger, SPACs are just these companies that hold a lot of cash so that they can acquire other companies. And essentially, when they go through with the merger, they give owners of the shares the option to either accept ownership in the new company or they'll give you back $10 per share. So under $10, there's no risk. Now, do I think they'll get to $10? Probably not. but pretty darn close to 10. There's very little risk with CFVI, and there's basically only upside. Now, I think that in the 10s is probably a good place. In the 10s is probably a really good place. We're not that far off. We're only about 30 cents off from being in the 10s. Obviously, this is a pretty popular one. We've been as high as 16. It could take off if you wait for the 10s. Who's to say? But we're getting pretty darn close. The markets are looking like they might be getting a little bit more red in the future. So there's the possibility you could get it in the 10s, and that could be a good deal for you if you're interested in it. That's when I'd be looking to buy in without options. If we could get into the 10s, I'd be looking to potentially do that. Obviously not financial advice, though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. We're potentially going to get a good deal on CFVI and maybe on DWAC too. If this rejection of 50 holds, we could see DWAC moving back to the lower 40s, which would be a good buying opportunity. And that's the last time we saw it down there. It was a pretty cheap opportunity to get it. The lowest you could get it actually was $36.69, and then it pumped up to almost 70. It pumped up to like $69. So you could make a pretty big profit on it if you ended up buying it at the lows and selling near the highs. So if we get it in the low 40s again, that could be another good buying opportunity. Potentially, I'll be selling some options if we can get it pushed down a little bit more, get the implied volatility rising a little bit more. We'll take a peek at the DWAC options, but they're pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive. If you're looking to sell puts to get in on it, then yeah, you could definitely sell some options on DWAC and probably make some money. I don't see it dropping all that much, especially depending on which strike price you're selling. So you can make quite a bit of money. Though, granted, those options are a year out, the 2023 options, but the 2022, the January 21st to 2022 options are also somewhat expensive. So you could make some money with those too. They'd at least, if you want to get in on DWAC, if you believe in it, you could potentially get in for cheaper, or you could make some money on the premiums if it ends up moving up. Granted, then you wouldn't be in on DWAC for all that it could do. So options there's a risk to options, right? The risk is that you miss out on some of the big gains. But overall, you have a much higher probability of profit. So, man, take a peek at GameStop for a second, though. GameStop, following suit with AMC, it's up 4% today. And let's see what it's done from the close. Or sorry, from its lows, not the close. So it actually hasn't increased as much percentage-wise as AMC has, though it is up more regarding where it closed yesterday as a percentage. It's up 4%. AMC's only up 1.38%. So crazy to see. Crazy to see that they're really coming back today. It looks like potentially they're both rallying up off of people seeing these super cheap prices. It's not surprising at all to see this bounce off of $20 that we saw them bounce down from about a year ago. So let's see, what was the high actually on that? Yeah, the high was $20.36, and now the low on this is $20.80, they say, but really $20.27 if you look in the pre-market. So AMC's doing pretty darn good. They're moving up. That's good to see. This saving some retail some pain. So overall, retail will have a bit more money as long as this maintains itself, right? We've seen these comebacks in the past. Over the past couple of weeks, we saw a little comeback back here. The week before last, we saw AMC stock moving up for a couple of days in a row before it renewed its downtrend. So we'll see. We'll see if we test $20 again. I know a lot of people don't want it to happen. We'll see if it does. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. So the one thing that I have to say I am somewhat shocked about is just, I always assumed that AMC was the big one. And let me actually put a poll in the chat to ask you guys which you thought was the big one, but I always assumed that AMC was much bigger than GameStop. GameStop, it appears, has a lot more support on Reddit than AMC, almost double the support on Reddit from a votes perspective, 8,300 compared to 4,500. So it's a little shocking to see that. DWAC is down, says Vivi Ruddock. It is down. It is down. Let me put in a poll real quick, though. Here we go. This is going to split up the meme stock investors from the meme crypto investors right here. This poll, which are you most bullish on? And there are four options: AMC, GME, Doge, and SHIB. So that should really split people up a little bit. Right now we've got a 50-50 split between AMC and Doge. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm curious what you guys think. Make sure to vote in that poll if you haven't. It looks like we've got a lot of votes coming in, and it's a pretty big split. Looks like so far the fewest number of people are interested in GameStop. There's only 10% of the people who like GameStop, but we'll see. And Thomas Rooney Jr., anything ape-related is Reddit-related, and those Reddit GME pumpers are loyal. AF, got to give them that. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. We've definitely seen a lot of loyalty to AMC, for sure. I mean, we're seeing it today even. The fact that they were down so massively, and that so many buyers stepped in, come the market open, when retail started trading, it does show a lot of support. It shows that retail's probably buying this thing up. Granted, not all of this is retail. There's surely some institutions buying a little bit here and there, trying to get a nice bounce. And Abstract pushed the wrong thing on the post. Oh, man. I think you might be able to change your vote. Maybe. So overall, which are you most bullish on? It's looking like a lot of people are bullish on AMC and Doge. Those are two of the favorites, at least in this group. All right, and Silver says, AMC I see going down if Omicron fears jump in January and Feb, which is when I see Trump buying AMC. Wow, maybe he'll buy it. He might. I mean, it's a big market. It's a big market cap for him to buy, right? It's 11.9. We can take a peek. But it's an $11.93 billion market cap. So I don't know if he could buy all of it, but potentially some kind of partnership could go through. Not sure, what he wants with a movie theater chain, but it could be good. It could be good just for publicity. And actually, if we just updated these numbers, we're at 12.19 billion market cap for AMC. Just refresh the page. So it has increased. People have bought up more AMC. We're up a bit on the day since we last checked. And looking at the poll, we've got 24 votes so far. Which are you most bullish on? The options are AMC, GameStop, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. So far, the most people are bullish on AMC. And Abstract says, I meant to push SHIB, but hit Doge instead. Oh, well, I'm bullish on both. Just more on SHIB. I hear you. Yeah, so it looks like Doge and SHIB are almost neck and neck based off how many people. Might only be one or two additional people that we have voting one way or the other, but we'll see. So, Kitchener Leslie bought some MJNA yesterday just for fun. That is a fun one. The only thing that I don't like about it is you've got to pay a commission to buy it, which, this one certainly could do very well, especially with how cheap it is at the moment. I mean, we're so close to 2 cents. You could definitely get a whole lot of MJNA shares. I'm strongly considering entering this one. We'll see if we can get it for exactly 2 cents. Then we might have to do it. The one thing I don't like about it is just that you have to pay that commission. I'm a little stingy with those commissions, but might have to do it. Strongly considering it. We'll see how this one ends the year. Maybe we'll move down a little bit more come late December. We'll see. If I don't think we're going to break 2 cents in too significant of a way, though. But you never know. We've bounced off of it so many times. It seems like a pretty safe bet to make. And Silver says, I'm not denying the future. I'm just worried about who writes the infrastructure and safety of it. Yeah, I mean, I think the infrastructure bill, the hard infrastructure bill, has already passed. So that's a done deal. But the Build Back Better bill, we could see doing pretty good. So James Wood, MJN is most likely going to pop huge. Get it under 2 cents, 1 million shares. Yeah, 1 million. That's what, 20? Is a million 20 grand? I think it would be 20 grand. That sounds like a lot to put into this. It's a risky one. It's a low float, or not a low float, but low volume stock. I mean, 1 million. You could probably raise the price a little bit by buying 1 million shares, honestly, because some of these bars were getting 500 shares traded. Granted, some of them were getting more. Some were getting 2 million shares traded, but you do see some movement on those bars. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with MJNA. We got, on the first bar of the day, we get about 1 million shares traded. So we'll see what happens with it. I do like it. I like the idea because in the past, it's bumped up to 22 cents per share. So there certainly is some potential with it. It is just a fun one. It is just a fun one that you could make some potentially big money with if you put. You wouldn't even have to put in that much, just because it seems like a potential 10x, right, on the hype. Not sure over the long term how it'll do, but for the hype of it, I could see us getting up pretty darn high. Maybe even if people really take to it, maybe even 42 cents. Maybe we could get there. I think that could be a rallying call for MJNA if we could get some publicity for it. It's just tough because it's an over-the-counter. Less people have access to it. A lot of people are just trading on Webull and Robinhood. They don't have access to these over-the-counter stocks. So that is kind of a tough thing to get traction for then. But definitely, like, if we see legalization, I think it's moving up big time. It's moving up big. The one thing that I don't like, though, is that there are no options for it. It has no options, and I really like selling options on stocks. So we'll see. I'll take a peek at it. In a couple of days, I'll take a peek and see if it's moved to 2 cents. Maybe I should just put in an order for 2 cents. That might be the best way to do it. And James Wood says it won't last long, but the pop will be huge on MJNA. I think you're right about that. I think that's the kind of situation we're looking at. Big pop on it if we get legalization catalyst coming next year, which I'm fairly confident that we will. So I'll probably have to get into MJNA at some point. Now, let me pull back up DWAC, but also you can see AMC starting to make new highs of day. We're getting very close to new highs of day on AMC stock. So this, I have to say, is impressive. We're seeing good volume on AMC. We're seeing the price fairly steadily move up. We have had some healthy breathers in there from time to time. We just had one, and it looks like we just made a new high of day. So overall, it's showing pretty big support, and I think people are glad to see it. I think people are very glad to see it. So we're doing good. Retail is probably happy today. They're probably smiling when they look at their portfolios because they are up 5% from the close yesterday. I know a lot of people must have been panicking in the morning when they saw AMC getting to $20, but it looks like their conviction in the stock was rewarded. They ended up coming through with a 5% profit on the day. So not bad. Granted, it doesn't eliminate a lot of the pain that they've suffered over the past 10 days when AMC was trading around $30. But we'll see what can happen with that. And Silver's saying something that I like a lot. He says, gold to 5 to 10K, then silver to 100 to 500. I would love to see that. That would be awesome. And yeah, that would be really good. But, you know, it's shocking that gold is just getting crushed today. It's just getting manipulated during the pre-market on very low share counts trading of GLD. And then it gets pushed up during the trading day, but now it's getting pushed down again. I mean, it's crazy stuff to see what's happening to gold and silver. They're really getting crushed. You know, it doesn't make a ton of sense with all these inflation worries. I don't know if the Fed is going to do enough to ease inflation. We'll see if they can manage it, but I don't think so. And the VIX is moving up. People are expecting a bit of a more volatile ride over the next couple of days and weeks. So the VIX is moving up. Their premiums are getting more expensive. But for some reason, gold and silver just keep getting crushed. It's really disappointing to see. Very sad to see gold and silver getting crushed day after day, week after week, month after month. And, you know, we'll see what happens in the end. I think that 2022, when we really start seeing the effects of additional inflation, we might see some more people buying into gold and silver. Obviously, you know, the crypto markets, we'll take a peek at real quick again. We'll see what they've done. So they've moved up a touch. Bitcoin's back up above 47,000, down 1% on the day. Ethereum back above 3,800. Okay, so cryptos are starting to move up a little bit. Dogecoin still sitting around 19 cents per coin, up 20%. Shiba Inu almost squeaking out the day with a gain, getting very close, down 0.06%. So barely a loss on Shiba Inu. But a lot of people are probably betting on cryptos to do well during this inflationary period. It looks like very few people are betting on gold and silver and metals doing well, which I would expect. And Mike Steele asks, do you follow SHIB? I do. I have a little bit of SHIB, very little at this point. I sold most of it in the past couple weeks or months, I think it was, whenever it was pumping up. I was selling it while it was on the uptrend, so I was selling it around here probably. I didn't sell any at the top, but I still hold a little bit, just because, just for fun. It's not much. It's like $100-something bucks worth of SHIB at this point. So I do follow SHIB a little bit, but I don't follow too much of the news, not really any of the catalysts that it's got going for it. I don't follow it too closely. I should, but I don't have that much, so there's not too big of an incentive for me to do it. DWAC getting back up to 50 bucks. It looks like people weren't happy with it below, so good stuff to see on big volume too. Big volume coming in for DWAC. We're moving up. And Silver says Xmas metals buying opportunity coming. That would be nice. I might have to load up on a little bit more on some more mining stocks if that was the case. That would be I wouldn't be too sad to see it. I mean, obviously the portfolio would be hurting in the meantime, but I wouldn't be too sad to see metals getting a little bit cheaper around Christmas as long as they do come back. And Silver says 1,000 ounces of silver or 25 ounces of gold is a great goal. Yeah. Man, that sounds like a lot. That sounds pretty darn expensive. 25 ounces of gold. What's that, 100K worth of gold? Close to it at these prices. Or no, 50K worth of gold, actually. Sorry about that. Yeah, 50K worth of gold. About, if we were assuming 2,000 per ounce, which it's not anymore. But 1,000 ounces of silver also, that's around, what, 20K? Yeah, so it's not that bad. And Amy Spar says ETH will come down further in the coming days, looking at 3,300, ready to buy on a discount. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I could see cryptos falling a little bit. They certainly haven't been doing too well over the past couple of days. If you look at the past couple of months, they were rising. Then they topped out around $1,000 higher than where they are now, for Ethereum at least. Ethereum's definitely been suffering, so I could see us moving back down to 3,300 bucks to our old support level. So we could do it. I could see that. We could see Ethereum probably going to 3,300. I bought in when it was super cheap. I forget exactly what price. I think 2,000. So I'm not too worried about it taking a little dip. I don't know if I would be buying any more though. You know, the whole crypto space. I like it. I think that they could do good. But I'm not so sure there is too much utility in the coins themselves. I'm not so sure that the value of the coins is going to go up over the long term. So we'll see. I definitely like the idea of blockchain. All right. So Silver says cash will be trash. What better way? What better way to end the stream than on that note? So cash is trash, says Silver. I kind of agree. I don't want to hold too much cash. I think that a lot of the time the government just inflates it away. I mean, I was watching a movie. I was watching The Revenant last night, actually. And they were talking about the big reward of 300 bucks that these people would get and how it would go so much, it would go very well for their retirement. It would help them out a lot with that. And man, the government just prints money. And that was only 200 years ago that 300 bucks was a really big deal. People were doing a ton for 300 bucks. And now, I mean, you get 300 bucks and it's not that much. So overall, cash tends to lose a lot of value. So that's what we've got on the stream for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully the markets will be a little bit greener. Obviously, we eked out a gain with AMC. DWAC struggling with 50 bucks at the moment. Sundial is down a little bit, but just barely. It looks like it's probably going to turn green any minute, hopefully. Hopefully it will. It might get bounced off of 57. We'll have to see. The S&P is just bouncing back and forth. It's just a wave back and forth. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.